Welcome to Navigating Advocacy, the true crime podcast that goes beyond storytelling to ignite change and seek justice. I'm Melissa.
And I'm Whitney. As true crime enthusiasts turned passionate advocates, we've seen the power of storytelling raise awareness about unsolved crimes and bring hope to victims and their families. We hope to inspire action and promote positive change within the true crime community.
Our mission is simple. We provide a platform for victims and their families to share their stories, to be heard, and find solidarity. But we don't stop there. We offer practical guidance to our listeners on how they can actively make a difference in their own communities.
Together, we can create a wave of change. We're here to empower you to also become advocates for change, no matter where or who you are. We are Navigating Advocacy.
Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
And this week was just a little crazy. I know our Patreon and Apple subscribers already had an Arkansas episode. So you're going to get two, but there was a little, I don't want to say mishap because some things came up in that Arkansas case where we decided we wanted to explore that further and it kind of opened up a window or something. So now that's going to end up being a deeper dive later on. So I wanted to give the rest of our listeners another or their first Arkansas episode.
Yes. So if you are a Patreon member or a Apple subscriber, if you haven't listened to it and you saw that it downloaded and then suddenly disappeared, sorry about that. We took it down because there's some things we learned about that case that we are definitely going to be exploring further, like Melissa said. So don't think that this is some weird Mandela effect or that we are pulling episodes down left and right. There's just a very specific reason we did, and y'all will learn eventually.
Yes. So bringing another Arkansas episode to you all. This one will be a bit shorter, actually. Who knows what it'll end up being, but I had to research this one very quickly. So here we will be bringing it to you today. Also,
Yes.
Amazon storefront. If you guys, is that what it's called? I never know. Is it storefront? Is it affiliate? I don't know what the difference is.
You know, I didn't read the fine print of what we were supposed to say when we started that, but we have started Christmas shopping. We've put our favorite things that we use to travel or that our kids are wanting right now. We've got that storefront going. Go check it out. It's in our bio link. I'll post it somewhere. You'll find it.
I will just get into Arkansas
Again.
Monticello is a city located in southeastern Arkansas. It is located approximately 90 miles south of the state capital, Little Rock. Monticello is a small but vibrant community with a rich history and a welcoming atmosphere. It was established in 1849 and was named after the estate of Thomas Jefferson, who was the third president of the United States, if anyone does not know that. The city has a historical downtown area with well-preserved buildings that reflect its heritage. The economy there is diverse with agriculture, education, healthcare, and manufacturing playing key roles. The city is known for its timber industry and is home to several lumber mills.
Think of Arkansas being a tree place. I don't know why. I know there's trees there, but when I think of lumber industry, I always think of Pacific Northwest or those types of places. Never do I think of Arkansas.
Agreed. I always think Washington, Oregon, up there is exactly where you said is what I think. But apparently this place is prominent for that. The region surrounding Monticello is known for its natural beauty and outdoor recreational opportunities. The area has numerous parks, lakes, and forests, making it a popular destination for outdoor enthusiasts. Lake Monticello is a popular spot for boating, fishing, and camping. Monticello hosts various events and festivals throughout the year, including a Juneteenth celebration and the Drew County Fair. It also has a community theater and other cultural attractions. Monticello, Arkansas offers a relaxed and friendly atmosphere, making it a great place to live and visit those who appreciate small town living and outdoor activities. It seems like a community with a strong sense of history and this close knit population. However, many residents don't feel the same way. And that is why we are navigating advocacy this week in Arkansas. Marquis Martin was a son to Lakeisha and a father to Marquis Jr. He was just 26 years old when he went missing from a gas station in Monticello, Arkansas in February of 2020. So this is a relatively recent case, but still too much time has went by for it to be unsolved. Marquise was described as an outgoing man. His mom said he had a heart of gold. Even his young son, who's probably about 7 or 8 years old, did an interview with local news and talked about his favorite photo of the two of them and how he just looked up to his dad so much. Marquise worked at Drew Central School District and he worked part time at McDonald's. Marquise was last seen on surveillance at a USA Murphy's gas station on February 9th, 2020 at 9:21 p.m. Then he was dropped off at his home, which was in Wilbur, Arkansas, and this is just a 9-minute drive down US Highway 278. So not too far down the road. This is probably um, Monticello was a much larger small town than Wilbur, and there wasn't a lot of job opportunities there in Wilbur, so he just made that quick 10-minute commute for his day job, which was at the school district, and then his part-time job at McDonald's. Sometime after February 9th, and everyone really doesn't know what exactly happened. They just know Marquise didn't show up for work that following Monday, and this started putting off some alarm bells to Marquise's mother. Then she would receive a text that would make her heart sink. It was a ransom text. It stated that Marquise was hurt very badly and that she would need to pay $7,000 for his return. It also said, "Don't contact the police." I'm going to read what I found out about this text verbatim that way because I want to kind of dissect this. It's a very weird ransom note text message, if in my opinion. It states, "This is to let you know that Mac was kidnapped by myself and my men, and we demand a ransom payment of $7,000 before we release him back to you alive. You are warned not to tell anyone or the cops about this, or he dies." He dies is in capital letters. "Do not act smart. I am too old for games. If you want this done with peace, I'm cool with it. But if you are calling the cops in, I'm fine too. The cops are no threat to me. And I don't think I need to show you how dangerous I could be by hurting him. Choose wisely. I have my personal reasons for taking this along before contacting family." End quote.
Okay, so don't call the police, but if you do call the police, I really don't care. I have personal reasons. Maybe he couldn't take off work to write this note. I don't
It's
understand.
so much to unpack. So the first thing that I wanted to mention was this kidnapper ransom person used Marquise's nickname, Mac. That's the first thing that
Okay, that was my next question was where's
exactly.
who's Mac? Do we have the right guy? Is this did he deliver the ransom note to the
Wrong
right
number.
spot?
No, that was what all of the friends and a lot of his family called him. Marquise, that's what he went by was Mac. So this is obviously someone that knows him well, in my opinion.
Or is somewhere in one of the circles he's in?
Exactly. Exactly. Very weird. Okay.
Hmm.
Second, it does seem like this person is rambling even in text message. Usually, if you're going to send a text message, it's short, concise. Here's the stuff that you need to know. And I'm sorry if you're going to send a ransom note, please read through it a couple of times and make sure you need to say all of that. But it seems like he's rambling or he or she is rambling at this. And I don't necessarily believe Marquise is alive, even though this ransom person said he's alive, because it's a few days later.
Yeah, as you were reading it until you stopped and said the "he dies" part is in all caps, it almost sounded like a talk to text thought process. I'm gonna take a note of this, but then I'm gonna refine this later and then send it
Exactly. Exactly, and then
anyway.
with the "he dies" being in capital letters, you're just like, "Okay." It definitely sounds like someone is on the phone making, like you said, a voice note, just rambling on and on. It doesn't seem like someone is actually typing this out, but I it looked like it was definitely typed out.
But also, okay, so he texted a ransom note. Was this from a burner phone? Did they not immediately track this phone number? To me, that's the dumbest thing you could do is let me send you something from a traceable
Agreed,
item.
and this is 2020. We're not talking 1980s, 1990s, early 2000s. This is
Right.
2020. Even if it was
This is not Dennis Rader saying, "Hey, can you track my floppy disk?" This is a cell phone.
exactly. I'm just like, even if it was like a prepaid cell phone, I feel like they could do something. Okay. But we'll get into possibly why nothing was done or they couldn't find anything out. Like you said, that sentence that says, I have my own reasons for not contacting sooner is so strange. It's like he's almost giving an excuse why he's late. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Why you don't have to say that. You don't have to say that. The "I'm too old for games" is also an odd thing to say. It's either a young person trying to throw off the family, or is this really an old person that's just used to saying that saying and they use it frequently and they just threw that in there. "I'm too old for games."
Right. Or not, "I'm smarter than you. I'm not gonna put up with nonsense. I'm too old for
It
games," is oddly
yes,
specific.
agreed. And then $7,000. I don't know if it's because I'm slightly OCD, but this is weird. Why not just say 10 grand? Why not say 10 grand?
But, like, I mean, I really feel like $7,000 is a cheap ransom, but maybe it's because that's an attainable
Mhm.
amount of money. Some people can gather up $7,000. It's still a lot of
Ex
money, but it's not you think ransom notes and people are, "I want $10,000,000 or I want $100,000." It's large figures.
yes, and
7,000?
the
Unless they know he got some sort of
yeah, and that
bonus or something that was that
yeah,
specific
and
number.
yeah, it's like 12,000,000 and a helicopter. It's 7,000 is just also
Yeah.
very weird if there wasn't something specific about 7,000. Oh, did he owe someone $7,000? What I don't know. The
Right.
whole ransom thing is very, very weird to me. So, Marquise's mom, she did contact police right away about this. Nothing
Good
came
for
from it
her.
though. Nothing. She doesn't know if they looked into it. She doesn't know if they tried to do any tracing of it. Just nothing. And we'll get into possibly why as well. It's just crazy that this is just, 3 years ago. They could have figured some stuff out. I feel like they could have figured some stuff out if they actually tried. A month passes, and on March 7th, Marquise would be found dead in a creek in Wilmer, which is that where his hometown was. And the cause of death was a gunshot wound to the head. He was shot at
Mm.
such a close range that there was that gunshot residue found on his scalp. So,
So they considered it point
yeah,
blank.
this is like almost execution style. It's just absolutely horrible that this happened to him. This case takes another turn, that is for sure, and not in a good way. Not long after Marquise was found, the family was sent a Snapchat image of a stuffed monkey with a racial slur written on it. Okay.
Oh my
The
gosh.
family believes that they can see Marquise like under a blanket in this image. I couldn't see it. I tried to zoom in and see what they were seeing, but I had a hard time seeing anything. There's a lot going on in this image. I don't We're not gonna post it. There's like a large stuffed monkey, then like at the bottom it says the words, and then you could tell it's on a bed or something, and there's like a lot of blankets and things, and I couldn't see it, but his mom was like, "No, that's his nose." She believes he was in there and he
Mhm.
was deceased in that picture. It would come out later that the son of the county sheriff is the one that initially sent this image to the family.
What?
Yes. The sheriff that is the person that's been supposedly investigating this murder, his son sent it. And the sheriff, after, like, investigating, he did come out and he's the one that said, like, "My son is the one that did this," and he made a couple other statements about this. So, of course, the family immediately asked the sheriff to step down from his position because of this, and he refuses. He told the public that his office had interviewed about 45 people and that they were trying to put the pieces together, but it was tough because they didn't have a crime scene or witnesses or a murder weapon, and all of this made it very difficult to determine what happened to Marquise. So he's kinda come back and say, "Hey, we are investigating this thoroughly," and I believe he says in an interview, "Even if it was my kid, it wouldn't matter. We do not cover up things. We don't let our kids do bad things," but obviously his kid did that horrible photo. And these
Right.
kids, I wanna preface, are, like, late teens, early 20s. They're, like, not little kids by any means.
Old enough to know
Exactly,
better?
exactly. So we know how small towns can be. The rumors are running wild, and many of them have pointed towards the sheriff's son and some, no, pointed towards the sheriff's sons and some of their friends as being the people responsible for the death of Marquise. The sheriff stated that he knew where these rumors came from, and it was a fellow employee and a political candidate who ran against him. He was just saying, "Oh, these rumors were started by these people. It had really nothing to do with evidence. It was just people who were disgruntled with him." In November of 2022, just 1 year ago, an independent party man named Tim Nichols ran against the former sheriff of Drew County and won. So the old sheriff that was a part of all of this, he is now out. He is no longer the sheriff of that area. Tim received 41.32% of the votes, while another guy that ran, James Slaughter, he received 34% of the votes. And then who was the current sheriff, who was Mark Gober, he received only 24% of the votes. And I don't want to say that Tim won by a landslide, but literally it was almost double. It wasn't that close of a race. So I definitely think the town was tired of that current sheriff. He got the least amount of votes out of everyone. The family actually had a change.org petition out there to remove Mark Gober from his position. This is obviously before the election and everything. And it had over
Sure.
48,000 signatures on it. Yeah, their goal was
Wow.
50,000, but luckily the family was able to get so close to their goal and get the sheriff out there regardless. And which I didn't even look up how big the town was, but I would assume it's not 50,000 people worth. But the new sheriff released a statement about the Marquise Martin case on February 10th of 2023. So pretty quickly after he settled into his new position, he addressed the family. This is the only unsolved homicide in this county. And yes, so
Wow.
that's amazing that this is the only one. However, this one seems a bit strange and some stuff going on that definitely should not be happening.
A quick Google says only 8,000
Oh,
people
wow.
live there.
Okay. All right. So enough of them said, enough is enough. We need someone new in. The statement from the new sheriff that was released on in February states, "I, Sheriff Tim Nichols, along with the 10th Judicial District Prosecuting Attorney Frank Spain, have made a formal request to the Arkansas State Police Criminal Investigation Division to take over the murder investigation of the late Mr. Marquis Martin. I have also been in communication with the FBI about this case. They assured me that they are willing to assist the state police as they can. It is the prayer of this office and that of the people of Drew County that justice and that the family, friends, and community can find peace and receive closure. That is all the update I has of now, but it is my hope that the Arkansas State Police and the FBI are working together to solve Marquise's murder." It definitely seems like this new sheriff is like, "Hey, we need to get some bigger dogs in here, clean up some mess," because he's just taken over office. He probably doesn't know who he can trust, who he can't trust at this point, and he wants to make sure
Right.
it's done right. I give him props for quickly addressing, making a statement, including the family, the friends, the community who have been dealing with this for 3 years, and trying to get some resolution in Marquise's death.
And making a stand of saying, "We're not going to stand for this anymore." The corruption, let's if it was corruption, is no longer going to happen. If it was just the fact that it is an unsolved homicide alone warrants the, like, duties of a public officer to try to find the resolution,
Yes,
like you
it's I
said.
mean, so there hasn't been anything else released about this case. I mean, it has been, what, like 6, 7 months, so we still got it takes a little time, especially if they're starting 3 years late. They're trying to probably re-interview people. Gonna take some
Mhm.
time, but I'm glad there's people that care now in office and that they are going to be doing what's right for Marquise's family.
Absolutely.
If you have any information about who kidnapped and murdered Marquise Martin, please call the Arkansas State Police at 870-226-3713, or you can call the Drew County Sheriff's Department at 870-367-6211. You can also submit an anonymous tip at the Monticello Police Department tip line at 870-723 lead, which is 5323.
Wow.
This one, I really have high hopes that this one could be solved considering it's really being investigated now and it's a relatively new case compared to some of the other ones. The people are probably still around, they're able to access them, they're able to get the interviews done and that type of thing. So, we will definitely be keeping a lookout for updates on this case and letting you all
Yes.
know. We want to share a few ways you can support us to continue our mission. You can become a Patreon subscriber for as little as $1 per month, or a simple rate and review on your favorite podcast platform helps us get in front of someone who may know something.
We will continue traveling state by state seeking justice because we will be there no matter where.
No matter who.